words and in your actions. Thank you for listening.
You are listening to the WinFM Sports News, which came to you with the kind compliments of Island Bakery.
Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb for over 2 decades. We have the best sliced bread anywhere on the island. The best butter bread, cakes and pastries, and a staff that's warmer. Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb. We also have island-wide delivery buses, outlets at the industrial site Bay Road and on 4th Street, opening hours from 5 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Easy in the morning. Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb. Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb.
Back to school is here at Harper's. Yes, Harper's is where it's at with the widest selection of school and art supplies for all schoolgoers, from the tiniest preschooler to the big cool college students. Plus, everyone can enjoy a 10% discount and a chance to spin the wheel and enter our grand draw in September. And the bonus is, our friendly team is looking forward to welcoming you again and again and again. For more information, call us at 466-6500.
Yeah, we got that.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, we're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Amali, and with Azim on the ones and...
A pleasant good day to you and yours, and let me apologize. That is the wrong Island Tea introduction. I would have to get the right one. Let me see if I can find that. In the meantime, welcome to Island Tea. And as I've stated on numerous occasions, when you hear my voice right off, it then means that I am on my lonesome. And as was stated yesterday, Hortensia will be having a bit of a rest, bit of a stint, approximately a week or so, and then she'll be back with us, and you'll be able to hear her voice again, something that I myself am looking forward to. Okay, let me see here. In the meantime, if you're thinking of getting involved, being a part of the conversation, the numbers are 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989, 033-344-0065, 718-285. Well, let me go back over that again. In the UK, the number is 033-344-0065. In the US of A, 718-285-6984. And in Canada, 305-921-4619. Again, if you wish to call in and be a part of our conversation, then feel free to do so. Okay, still looking for some stuff here. And here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to start by playing a clip. Now, while I peruse some other information here, so take your time and give a listen to this.
In Europe, anti-migrant protests are flaying across the continent, fast, furious, and increasingly violent.
Across Europe, the pattern is unmistakable. In city after city, anti-migrant protests are escalating from marches into violent spectacles.
The latest protests were in The Hague, Netherlands, where thousands of demonstrators clashed with police. Stones flew, a patrol car burned, and at the D66 party headquarters, it saw its windows shattered. Police hit back with water cannons and tear gas, arresting dozens and treating injured officers. The Hague is not alone. London, Northern Ireland, and Poland have all seen similar rallies targeting immigrant communities and demanding tougher border controls. These escalating protests reflect a continent on edge where migration remains a political fault line. Here's more in our next report.
The Hague erupted in chaos, streets filled with smoke as Dutch police fired tear gas and unleashed water cannons against thousands of anti-immigration demonstrators. Flames from a torched police car lit the night. Protesters hurled bottles and rocks, waving Dutch flags alongside far-right banners. 30 people were arrested, 2 officers were injured, and the glass facade of the center-left D66 party headquarters lay shattered. Inside, wreckage stretched across meeting rooms. A symbol of political anger boiling over just weeks before the Netherlands heads to the polls on October 29th. Prime Minister Dick Schoof denounced the shameless violence, while right-wing leader Geert Wilders, whose push for harsher asylum policies triggered the collapse of the last coalition, branded the rioters idiots. But the Netherlands is not alone. Across Europe, anti-migrant fury has spilled onto the streets with increasing ferocity. Just a week earlier, London saw one of its largest right-wing demonstrations in modern times. Around 110,000 people, many draped in the Union Jack and England's red and white cross, surged through Whitehall. The sheer size of the rally shocked police, who described it as too big to fit into the approved route. The imagery was jarring. Streets once symbolic of British governance were consumed by chants demanding mass deportations.
It is very important. They need to stop illegal migration into this country. It's tearing us apart. You know, we've got people here, the veterans, our veterans that fought for us and for our freedom, lying on the streets with nowhere to go. But you pop in, get rid of your documents, and you can have a 4-star hotel, free board and lodge.
Then, back in June, farther north, Northern Ireland had also been engulfed by unrest of its own. Ballymena, a market town, became the epicenter of violence after allegations of sexual assault against 2 Romanian teenagers. What began as a protest quickly mutated into riots. Masked men hurled bricks, fireworks, and petrol bombs. Police water cannons sprayed into the flames of burning cars and buildings. By the 4th night, 40 officers had been injured and 15 were arrested as violence spread to Belfast, Coleraine, and Lisburn.
Basically, what happened sort of by asking them people to leave and whatever else was justified, in my opinion, because of the actions that they, obviously, it's a very, very serious crime that was committed and things like that. And the people around here, they've literally got at boiling point. You know, they've had enough. The people, they've been complaining for months and months leading up to this about the behaviour and like wolf whistling at young girls and things like that. And the police have nowhere to be seen.
Meanwhile, Poland also saw a rise in street anger. In Katowice, around 3,000 demonstrators, marshaled by the far-right party, waved banners demanding the closure of borders. Similar gatherings, though smaller, echoed through dozens of towns and cities. The rallies were fueled by fiery speeches from politicians who warned of a looming flood of outsiders. But figures show that official migration levels remain relatively low. Nationalist leaders called for deportations and praised border checks with Germany and Lithuania as necessary defenses.
What I fear most is that there is no force in Poland capable of standing up to this, short of bringing the army out onto the streets, standing up to those migrants who could cause disorder and chaos here in Poland.
In city after city, anti-migrant protests are escalating from marches into violent spectacles, marked by blazing vehicles, broken glass, and injured police. Governments scramble to contain the unrest, yet the fury continues to swell. From The Hague to London, Ballymena to Katowice, a restless chorus grows louder. It demands walls, expulsions, and a rewriting of Europe's identity. The continent, once defined by open borders, now finds itself confronting a wave of fire, flags, and fury. An uprising reshaping its political landscape street by street.
And there you had a bit of information as it relates to what is happening around the world. Those are some of the clips that you won't usually hear on the established worldwide media, because it seems as if though when it's things relating to them and their unrest and their upheaval, they sidetrack those things and go into other things that take the spotlight off of themselves. But when it is involved in other individuals in other areas of the world, then we hear that addressed to the point where we become irritated by it, because we say, man, enough already. You know what I'm saying? So there you had that bit of a clip. Now, recently, here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, there's been a whole lot going on, and the talk has been mainly centered around, mainly around 2 things of paramount interest. One, agriculture, and the other, lands. And agriculture and lands have a link, but in this instance, they are separate and apart, because agriculture, the agricultural aspect is in relation to the farmers feeling not enough is being done by the system by way of making us food sufficient, or by way of we being able to move forward and say that we are sustainable in feeding ourselves. So that's one. The land part now is that people are querying whether large plots of our lands here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis should be sold off, or if you want to entice business, should those lands not be leased? And also there's the other aspect of it in terms of, whether lands should be given in relation to or in regards to exclusive rights and so on and so forth. There are individuals who say no, that is not the case, but when we do our own analysis, we have a lot of questions that to date have not been fully answered. As a matter of fact, rather than us getting answers, we hear that certain individuals don't want to address certain things. Hello, caller. Good day.
Good morning, Quinn.
Good day.
Good morning.
Good day.
Yes, good. Yes, greetings once more in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners from the sin and from death and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, as usual, I would like to say, we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth, and the quicker, the better. Now, that clip that you just played concerning people protesting against immigration and migration and so into their country. With all due respect, all of these, like I always say, are just symptoms of us disobeying the Bible and not doing things according to the Bible. Because really and truly, the Bible is open immigration. People supposed to be free to travel wherever and whenever they want to.
But what if the people who reside in the area don't want that immigration?
You don't have that choice by the Bible. It is something that if you go contrary to that, you're sinning against God.
But you see,
because the Bible is open immigration.
But you see, so you're saying that if us here in St. Kitts and Nevis reach a point where we say, look, there has been enough individuals migrating from wherever to here, and it is putting a stress on us, the people who were born here and have been living here, being able to get access to land because the competition for it is steep and the price is therefore going up. You're saying that we don't have a right to say that? You're saying that people should just, you're saying that people should just come in, and what happens when it reaches the point where you have what you might call overpopulation in a given area because we're only so big and that kind of stuff? You're saying we should not try to impede that in any way?
No, because you'll be going against the Bible. What you should do, you should look at the other ways that you are disobeying the Bible that would take care of that immigration problem. You see, it's like
tell me one of the other ways.
Well, like I mentioned in many calls, one, you share out government land freely to families that are indigenous to here, so that when people come in, you people already have land. Also, like I said, the Bible teaches voluntary taxation. The economy is supposed to be run by the private sector and not by the government.
But Greg, with all due respect, that doesn't answer the question. Let's say, okay, let's use a hypothetical. All of these people on St. Kitts and Nevis own all of the land. That would still not stop people from wanting to migrate. For instance, if the economy is good.
We welcome them.
Okay, so what happens when they want to migrate and they start to make the demands for getting their own land to be able to be residents?
But if there are extra land left back, they can buy. They can buy if there are extra land left back, but it will create the opportunity for the locals who already have land, because we do things the bad way, to make apartments and all those sort of stuff, to open businesses, because you would have more customers.
Yeah, but it's
and
still
a growing market.
But again, this is what you tend to do, but it still doesn't answer the question of people migrate You cannot stop the migration. One, you
Well,
cannot
you're
stop.
supposed to stop it.
That's what I'm saying. But let me finish. Number one, number two. I use a hypothetical in terms of let's say, in that hypothetical that I use, I said, let's say all of St. Kitts, the people in St. Kitts and Nevis owned all of the land. That is what I said. It is a hypothetical, yes, but I'm saying they own all of the land. So that means there's no land. That is not likely to happen, but remember, it's a hypothetical. So they own all the lands, but that still will not stop people from wanting to come here, get married, perhaps get children who want to get their own piece of land. So how do you address that?
Well, unless somebody is willing to sell them the land, the most they will be able to do is live in apartments and that sort of stuff. That's the most they will be able to do, live in apartments and that sort of stuff, unless they could buy some land from somebody who's willing to sell there.
That sounds plausible, but I still don't get it that because you say that God says, and this is where I always get a bit frustrated, because you say that God said, and we never heard a God come and say these things. It is man who said these things that God said, but you say God said we should just let people come in and set up residence and do whatever and so on and so forth.
He said it indirectly.
And I am saying the people should have a choice. You should not be able to just come and say God said, and we didn't hear God say it, but you say God said, and then it becomes law. I disagree with that.
But God didn't give us a choice in that matter.
But that is a lie. You cannot say God didn't give us a choice because
God give us a choice in the matter.
Because God didn't say that in the first place. You cannot
God
say it as a fact.
No, God said it implicitly because God laid down the the rules for government. What government ought not to do.
When you say implicitly, what do you mean?
Yes. Well, like I always say in Romans chapter 13, okay? God tells us in his word, the Holy Bible, that the only duties of government is to
I ask you to explain what you mean implicitly, because you said
implicitly is when you said something indirectly. Implicitly is when you say something, but you got to use deduction to know what has been said indirectly. Implicit.
What you're meaning by implicit is that God said something which we did not hear, and a man comes and says God says it. That's what you mean.
No. That ain't what I mean. What I mean is that.
But that is what it means.
That ain't what I mean. It means that you have to get what he said by the use of deduction.
Greg, did you hear God say it?
Yes, in the Bible.
I ask you, did you hear, as in hear with your ears, God say it?
I heard with my spiritual ears, not my physical ears, but with my spiritual ears, and I see it in the Bible.
This is why I like people to listen and come to their own conclusion. Okay, so go ahead. Is there anything else you want to say?
So what I'm saying, when we don't do things God's way, okay? This is what causes all of these problems. It's like you take a medicine to deal with the side effects of another medicine, but that another medicine causes other side effects, and you have to take more drugs to deal with that side effect. Just so we disobey the Bible in one area, it causes problems in another area. We apply the same man-made solution in the other area, it causes problems in the other area. And it's like a chain reaction, and before long we end up in all of these confusion and problems and evils because we just ain't doing things the Bible way.
There was a time, Greg, when people could make the statements that you made, and no one questioned them because we were so much in fear of questioning the so-called Word of God that we just took it blindly and went along with it. But I would like to think that for a lot of the people existing now, that time has passed. Some of what you say makes sense because when you say one thing results in another and that kind of stuff, but that is the problem. People who want to say God said things, they use a bit of lie, mix it with some truth, and then they expect that because we hear some truth in there, we are supposed to accept the whole thing.
Well, all I could say to people, prove me wrong based upon the word of God. That's all I could say, prove me wrong, which is the Bible. The Bible is the inspired, inerrant, verbal, plenary word of God. That is what the Bible is, as it was originally written and edited by the holy men of God
And
in
you
the
hear-
past,
and
in
you-
ancient times.
And you hear
Okay?
to the other caller there. And you hear what you said, edited. So you're admitting the Bible has been changed, right?
No, not changed. Some parts have been edited, not the Bible. Some parts have been changed. Yes, certain parts by holy men of God in ancient times.
What does edit means?
No, you said the Bible. I'm just saying certain parts of the Bible has been edited. Certain parts, not the whole Bible.
I didn't say the whole Bible, but if certain parts
Well,
of the
you
Bible,
said the Bible.
but
You
if
said the Bible has been changed.
if certain parts of the Bible has been changed, I can say the Bible has been changed.
That would be a misleading statement. And when I say change, for example, let me give an example as to what I mean. No.
We have another
When
caller.
Moses-
We have another caller. So be brief. Make your point.
Yes. No, when Moses was living in Goshen, in Egypt, the Israelites them were living in Goshen in Egypt. At that time, it was known as avarice. But later, men of God, so for them to understand, in their time, because in that time the part was called Goshen, so later holy men of God, in ancient time, who were prophets, changed what would have been avarice to Goshen, so that the readers of there would understand which area in Egypt he was talking about. That's what I mean by edited.
But I take,
Not change of the account.
but I take issue and disagree with that part where you say, men of God did this.
Yeah, but when I say edited, that is the type of things. I mean, I mean they edited the narrative, changed the narrative. The narrative is the same.
You heard what I just said? I said I disagree with your statement that men of God did this editing. I don't believe there were any men of God appointed by God. Anyway, we have another caller.
That's where we differ.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good.
If we followed Greg's reasoning, we'd have heaven and earth. There would be no reason to go to heaven, right?
Yeah.
And go to heaven, right?
Well.
And wasn't there rebellion even in heaven?
Yes, there was.
Greg is too dogmatic. There's no room for. He doesn't leave any leeway for error on his part.
Yeah, and even when you bring up things like, I have a clip here I'm going to play.
Like he just did.
Just did. Yes, and also.
As soon as you said he was edited, edited means change.
Yes.
And why? And certain parts. Why certain parts and not others?
Yeah. And if a person brings a book in front of you, right, Mr. McMahon, and you know that parts of it were edited, aren't you justified in saying that the book was edited?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And you also have to question why certain parts were edited and not others.
That's it. But he nitpicked certain
if it's
things.
supposed to be this book, this book of knowledge and so on and wisdom, why was there a need to edit it in the first place?
That's it.
But anyway, yeah. About the immigration thing.
Yes.
It's been with us forever, and I don't think countries will ever get over the fact that it will be with us forever as well.
Yeah, it will.
People will always go in search of opportunity.
Yeah.
That's the nature of man.
Yes.
So what is happening now, though, I think.
But let me ask you this before. Do you agree with Greg's premise that the people shouldn't have a choice? People should be able to just come and just overflow, and don't you think that there should be some control?
But naturally, places can become overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I don't understand where Greg's going with that. Huh? It makes no sense. From the time you have political separation, because borders are generally, are in fact, man-made political separation.
Yeah, they are.
Right? As long as you have that, you are going to have the pressures of wherever there is opportunity, wherever things are better, where the grass is greener over there, people are going to want to go there, regardless of what political separations there are.
Yes.
Right? And so you must have some controls, because if you don't have controls, what you're going to have is instability and war.
Yeah.
You're going to have conflict. So you absolutely must have control. And actually, you know, I honestly feel that the government have a responsibility on behalf of the people to exercise that control.
I agree.
Right? And make sure that the persons within the confines of where they govern are not disadvantaged by immigration. Immigration needs to happen, but control. Nobody's saying that you're going to be xenophobic and say, I don't want you, anybody at all, coming into my place.
Yeah.
That's xenophobia, right? And that in itself is a death warrant. I mean, how many tribes have virtually become extinct or remain backward because they remain exclusive to wherever their territory is?
Yeah.
Okay. So immigration is good.
Yeah.
Right?
And
it
is because of lack of proper controls why the clip that I played, the people are making an uproar, because they're saying these people are not just only coming in droves, they don't have any respect for our place. I played some weeks ago, if you remember, I played a clip where they even go onto people's land, defecate, do all kind of stuff, you know, and people want an end to those things.
Of course, and to the hard fact is, though, that part of this is exploited.
Yeah, that is true.
Exploited by especially right-wing parties.
Yes.
You know, so there's that aspect of it.
And
okay?
I'm glad you brought up that, because there is a faction presently that feels that because of what Europe is going through, in particular France and Italy and something, but place the main emphasis on France. Because of the internal problems that France is going through, there are some individuals who believe that they're creating and trying to push everything towards this influx of people as a way of pushing away the attention from what is really happening in terms of the failing of their system, so that they can find ways to amend it or repair it. So you're right. It is exploited.
Yes, it definitely is. At the same time, though, right, you got to look with a cockeye at immigration policies that basically say only the other countries' best we'll allow to come in.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. One of the good things that about the U.S. immigration system was that it had this, I think they call it diversity option or something like that, where you can get, it's like a lottery, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay? So that they don't just have what Trump wanted, just people from Norway and people of one race or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's good for immigration as well. Okay? And the other aspect to it is that these metropolitan countries, they got rich off of colonialism. In other words, going into other people's countries and exploiting them, exploiting their resources. So you could regard the immigrants from those and colonizing them. So you can regard the immigrants from those countries going now as, shall we say, payback or
Yeah, but
reparation.
they don't see it that way. You know
Of
the
course,
old
they were
saying,
not gonna
do
see
so.
it that way.
You know the old saying, do so, don't like so. You know, don't. Yeah, so.
Right. and to bring it closer home now, okay? That is another reason why we should be very careful with these SSC things, okay? Because essentially, with the kinds of big numbers that they're talking about, right, that in itself can create instability.
Yes.
Anywhere you have a place where there is vast differentials between people in terms of wealth, of course you expect some differential, right? You have rich and poor
Yes.
and middle class everywhere, okay? But where you have vast, you know, where
A great
difference-
disparity between one and the other.
disparities,
Yeah.
that's a cause of instability.
Yes.
Right, and you see, there's no, and that's the thing. I think the government, both think it's a Nevis. They badly need an off-ramp. They badly need a way out of this, because I think now that people highlight the bad possibilities of this thing, right? Some people are saying that it should be repealed.
Yes, that is what I'm hearing.
I am thinking, yes, repeal is probably one way out, but you can also change the legislation and so that whatever proposals come have, for instance, just a finite acreage.
Yes.
I don't know why they removed that in the first place.
Yeah,
that's a way.
And to
that's a way of controlling it.
And to further your conversation, I agree with you, and also take out anything to do with exclusivity, and then also bring in, take out this thing about you feel you have to sell, and why can't you lease when we see that the priority in these other places around the world is placed on lease as opposed to selling.
You know what? I would even the name I don't like. They should have
the
taken
same
out
with
that
me.
Special.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
Take that out.
Yeah.
You know, from the time you say special, you're introducing a kind of separateness.
Yes.
And so on, which we don't really need here.
Yes.
And there's the other possibility. We have a homegrown way of having an economic zone without doing that kind of drastic legislation.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this:
right?
Don't you think that the Paul Southwell thing that was done some years ago was an economic zone?
You mean at the
industrial site? Yes.
Yes, that was one.
It was.
Yes. But that was more in terms of industrialization.
Yes.
Right, light industry.
Yeah.
What happened over at Frigate Bay is more akin to what they are planning in terms of hotels and residential. And I'm saying that you don't need no huge acreage with gated communities and
to do that kind of business,
to get the same kinds of benefit.
Because we've seen it happen, as you mentioned on a prior call with the hotel over on Nevis and certain other, Marriott and those others. Yeah, we've seen.
Yeah, it can happen without doing that kind of drastic. Because you see, again, bearing in mind our land mass. I know they are gushed about Dubai and so on.
Yeah.
Do we really want to see 100-story skyscrapers around our island?
Yeah. Well, sometimes when they use examples, because, for instance, when the Attorney General used a particular place as an example, you realize he didn't do much further research apart from just giving us the name. Because he couldn't tell us what the size of it was, and he couldn't tell us whether the land was for sale or for lease. Those we found out during the conversation.
and two, we have not decided, well, what really is our ideal population. For some reason, and maybe because you know what they were planning. It was the premier I first heard this. Our population is too small.
Yeah.
You know, we have to increase our size if we're to develop, if we're to grow and develop. I disagree. I feel that if we have an island, a place, our aim should be not necessarily to grow the population, but to make sure that the residents here are comfortable, have jobs, businesses, good health care, good education.
I agree.
Right?
I
and
agree.
A good community to live in, and a good community.
Hold a second there. We have another caller. Let me just hear their voice. Hello, caller.
Yeah, good morning, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to hold them, let Mr. McMahon finish his statement? Or Mr. McMahon,
sure.
will you lean towards
sure,
him?
why
Or
not?
how will we do this?
Well, I can finish.
Okay, let Mr. McMahon finish then.
Yeah,
But Mr. McMahon,
sure.
before you finish, I agree with you to some extent, but I don't have a problem with growing the population. But you must not do it rapidly. You must do it in a rate that you can keep up the infrastructures with the growth. For instance, don't have a rapid growth like we've seen, and next thing we have water problem, electricity problem, housing problems. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Yes.
I still think though that there is a natural carrying capacity that we should really come to some agreement on.
I agree.
It's like, for instance,
I agree, but that takes planning though, and it doesn't seem as if though they're planning.
Because it's like saying that we have nearly 1 million cruise ship tourists. Let's go for 2 million. Well, those things like that have consequences.
And when you go for
right?
2 million, then you have the problem with the beaches aren't big enough. And
all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, this thing that, okay, we absolutely need to grow our population. Okay, fine. But at least determine what is optimum,
yes.
what would be optimum, and make sure that in that growth, we don't have a deterioration
in
standard of
living,
community.
I agree.
Right. Yeah. Those kinds of things. That is what we should be.
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
aiming for, as opposed to just saying, we need to become like Bermuda.
Yeah, but that's what they do.
Much more.
That's what they do.
Yeah,
this is why we have to pay attention to them. You know. Yeah.
All right then.
Okay. So go ahead, Burl.
Yes, good morning again. We talked about exploitation. In our small federation, we are seeing a lot of stuff happening here. There's a lot happening, man. Lots going on. Sometimes I don't know where to start, man.
Mm-hmm.
We got our lands and our people as resources, and we don't have minerals like a lot of different countries. But I know one thing for sure, that geothermal and Nevis is real. Whoever puts up the money for that fund, then they're going to own these 2 islands. Trust me on that. And if we're going to give away these lands like how we're giving them away now, we're going straight back to being colonized. What's going to be left for our children? Nevis is the smaller of the 2 islands, and we are now seeing that it's a goal to take a section of Nevis away from the local people. My biggest thing, my two biggest things is that the ownership of the land.
But let me ask you this, Burl. I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. But this isn't some case of yes, if they were to follow through with this venture, it will be external individuals, external what I'm looking for the word, an internal influx of potential capital, okay? But this isn't spurred by some external faction. Our concern is that this is being spurred by someone who grew up here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, in particular on Nevis, that's Mr. Mark Brantley. So why is he moving in such a way that he doesn't seem to have a problem with vast amounts of our land being given special rights to an external investor?
You see, like Mahan said, right? Nobody's really going against the development, but we got to be careful. The premier, okay, let me go back 1 or 2 steps. Me, I made a suggestion when we're talking about immigration and all this stuff, movement of people. Haiti is a part of CARICOM, but the other Caribbean islands, they're not that receptive to the Haitian people.
Yeah.
I made a suggestion one time to mentoring some of the Haitians, and even if we can get them involved with our agriculture sector, and the agriculture sector can get boomed that way. 10,000 people coming in between 2 islands. We should have had that infrastructure in already. With all that money that came into the CBI, they should have built out the infrastructure on both islands relatively to size and population. The money was mishandled, no doubt about that. And some of the money went everywhere else except to benefit the people. We cannot get away from that. And then so now, we the people are going to suffer through that.
But Burl,
we're suffering, right?
But Burl, how do we? I hear you, but that has passed, and the problem seems to be.
Yes, I agree.
It seems to me that since that has passed, and there doesn't seem to be that large influx of capital as before from that faction, it seems to me the problem now is how our leaders are going to garner money in the future. And it seems to me they want to lead towards this special zone thing. And this is where we have a problem, right? So why isn't there, I'm asking myself this question. So our leaders can no longer get the kind of industry that we used to get before? Like some kind of because if you go up to the Paul Southwell place, I remember years ago when I was young, I used to work at a particular place that dealt with making parts and so forth that to my understanding, were used in those big skyscrapers for machinery and escalators and elevators and that kind of stuff. That business still exists to today. So that means that is a lucrative business. So you're telling me that kind of venture, those kind of ventures can no longer be directed towards St. Kitts and Nevis?
That mean Quint, our politicians, that means they're failing. They're failing the people.
Well, that's the question I'm asking.
During COVID, yes, they're failing the people. During COVID, we saw that there was a specific parts that was needed for the ventilators in the United States and around the world, and that part was coming from St. Kitts.
Yeah.
From the manufacture sector.
Yeah.
I hear McMahon ask for that man. I hear McMahon talk about it all the time. Try to bring that manufacture sector back.
And that manufacturing sector that you're speaking about is separate and apart from what I am speaking about. So that's two aspects of manufacturing right here on the St. Kitts and Nevis. So the question,
and as we're talking about economic zones, right? They need to bring that manufacture back, and also the agriculture.
Yeah.
They could have built out the agriculture zone. This is telling me and showing us that they're not particularly serious about agriculture at all.
That is one of my main queries. That is one of my. You've heard me say ask on numerous occasions, why haven't we seen a zone for agriculture? I've asked that question.
Yeah.
So
We are talking about these economic zones. So then build out one for agriculture for the local, internally. We don't have the confidence in ourselves to develop our industries.
Here's
Quinn.
And go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, and let me okay, sorry. Okay, and as you're mentioning these things, right? Just remember too, because of the fact that the CBI has dropped tremendously, you got to remember that marijuana industry.
Yeah.
You see, they're moving the marijuana industry only to the medical because it's going to benefit the foreigners and benefit the government is pushing that way, but it's not a good look.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to benefit the local growers, like how those conventional farmers and growers of the herb, and then we just can't pinpoint into the herb only. We got to broaden it to the wider scope.
Well,
of agriculture
even from this little bit of a conversation we're having, we have highlighted the fact that there is a need for industrial investment within the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So why aren't our leaders moving towards that way? Anyway, I would want you to wrap up because I want to take a commercial break.
Yeah, well, in wrapping up, I will just keep pushing the narrative, man. The narrative about this SNC, the people is the ones that's pushing back. This is not NRP pushing back on Nevis. We have seen the citizens pushing back, and therefore the Premier and the Prime Minister both should take this into consideration. And these people are pushing back to get that law repealed. They are not pushing back to get it amended. And on St. Kitts today, in Bastille, there's an awareness march, and I'm encouraging everybody to try to go out to show these politicians we, the people, got the power, and to demonstrate and use your fundamental rights to a peaceful protest. Right at the West Bus and Ferry Terminal is a gathering at 2:30, and the march kicks off at 3.
Okay.
And I wish the organizers the best, and I wish the Federation the best. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Let's take that bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean. Keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Organic Corp
and the House of Yehuda Musical Foundation presents
Organic Market Artist Performances
by House of Yehuda,
Shiloh,
Stevie,
DC,
Kitsia,
Tafari,
Jack Ali,
OJ,
Jungles,
House of Royalty,
Packets,
and special guest artist Footsie.
A variety of vendors,
agricultural speeches,
poetry, giveaways, drumming, and steel pan.
Bill of Vibe Sound, DJ 6 o'clock and Slaughter.
At the Diep Belan on Sunday, 28th September.
From 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. Be there and enjoy the market.
to school is here, and Digicel is making it extra exciting. Go back to school in style with a brand new laptop. All you have to do is activate a 3-day Prime bundle or higher, switch to Digicel, or sign up for a postpaid plan, and you could be one of 2 lucky winners. At Digicel, we're all about keeping you connected. So what are you waiting for? Get ready, get connected, and go back to school the Digicel way. Digicel, better connected for back to school.
And I'm back with you, and that's the Island Tea theme. And that's the one we're going to use from now on, because the other one was kind of a brief and abrupt, and I like this one. As a matter of fact, this theme is one of Barry White's instrumentals, and if you know me and my love for music, you know that Barry White is my all-time favorite male vocalist and musician. Okay, so yeah, let me see if I can stop it and start it again, just so I can enjoy a few refrains of that theme. Now, that is what I call music. Good day, caller.
Quint, good morning.
Good day.
And good morning to your caller just before you went to the break.
Yes.
Quint, that caller from Nevis is very deep, you know. But first, Quint, I want to say good morning to St. Kitts Nevis young people and elders as well. But where we want, Quinn, is these young people to understand the serious position we are in these lands. And they have to support these demonstrations. So the demonstration on today, we want to see the young people them going out and showing these vagabonds we're not playing with land. Land is power. How could you give people chunks of land like that who have vast majority of land in the country and come here for a little bit? Great man fight for this land, man pay for this land, and we suffer because of these junk of money going to plantocracy for this land. How the hell you could come and giving this land back to people? Now, Gwen, you had the Attorney General, you know, but you forget to ask him a question.
Jam down. Who
owned the land them? That's why he can chop. Yes.
You're listening to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've said before when you call that I want when you call that you listen so that we can have an interaction.
Exactly. But sometimes did you say and deal?
Okay. Anyway, so to answer your question, I cannot ask all the questions, and just when you're sitting down in a forum with someone, it is easy. It is easy afterward for someone to say you should have asked this, and you know. But on the spur of the moment, I can't remember everything. I usually listen and ask my questions along the line of the conversation.
Yeah, but next time, what we want you to do. What we want you to do is forming a question. You must prepare. Just like patches, prepare. You write off something.
I always.
Where you want to get over to him.
I always.
I would like to hear you asking him who the client is over in Fires there.
I always prepare Jam Down. I knew he was gonna come.
Well, you
But-
sound so, but I had to ask to get the right answer.
But here's what I want. I would like when he had that program, he did not direct us to open the lines. After we had finished, he did say that he would have liked some calls, but he could have told us, when we were in.
No, he didn't want the calls. They don't want to entertain the land because
Yeah.
they realize the people pushing back on the land, so they don't entertain calls.
Okay, so in the future, what we would ask him to do is to say, when you're gonna have this conversation, could you allocate at least 10, 15 minutes for the people to call? I'm sure that he will be.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
Like your show. That is your show.
I'm sure that he will. I'm sure that he will accommodate. So in the future, don't look for Quint to ask all the questions. I would like to hear you and other people calling in and asking your own
What
questions.
I like you to do, Quint, because it's a big talk around.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Quint, what I like you to do going forward is that you have two callers. When people try to get in, they can't get in because they try to hold up the lines. If you talk and you say something, come back, man. Hang up and let somebody who want to get in. That's a big talking anywhere you go in Nashville.
Well, yes, I know.
They don't use the discretion at all and understand other callers who
I-
build
I-
this thing
I-
want
I-
to get in and make an impact.
I disagree with you because I'm the one who's here on the board. I'm the one who's watching the lights
But
flash.
you could control it like how Bacchus used to control it.
Listen
You
to
said that
me.
You may want them to talk.
Listen to me. I said again, and I like when people listen, because if there's one thing I do, I listen. I said again, I disagree with you because I've admonished people to call. When people call, I will engage them. It seems to me, and you should be aware of this because you did not come on the land of the living yesterday. You've been here a long time just like
From
me.
Federal Maple and Federal Palm, eh?
Okay, so you know that people have a way of when they get with their friends and associates, they just speak because they have the ability to speak. But when they have the opportunity to vent or to say something, they don't. You know why? Because they're afraid of a lashback.
They're afraid the media. They're afraid the media.
They're afraid, they say, like for instance, you heard when the farmer was here, the farmer said even other farmers, he was having a problem with them to come and represent themselves. That is the problem. People can say what they want. I'm sitting down here, and since you've been talking, there have not been another line here. Go ahead.
When that's cutting you off. Earlier in the week, I called in and I was talking about the up at the dock.
Yes.
Up at the dock, the first dock up there. And I used to work there for 20 years. And I used to be the man who will speak and work in condition and report.
Yes.
And as I told you that my government was in power. He had a man named Charles Bradio. Used to, because I talk, me and Seaborn, you remember Seaborn Fast Walk?
Yes.
Seaborn from Newton, you remember him?
He's a family of mine.
Okay. Me and Seaborn, we was two men that we used to play because we had a little more experience than some of these youngsters, Hammers and them. We was, me, Hammer, Stephen, a Jabal, we had more little experience than them about the walk at the port.
Yes.
The long showing walk. And because I was real vibrant, the one who will even take the nonsense and just try to do us as they like and I go with it. I used to have fun talking, representing everybody, as you were just saying. Some of them only got the talk when we congregating. But to face a boss and talk like them.
That's it.
Afraid.
That's
so
it.
Me and Seaborn, this man used to always scratch off with name off the list.
Mm-hmm.
Poor people, And people who supporting Simmons, who make sure Simmons get in office in 1980. He was just a friend of Simmons because they used to go up on the tennis court every afternoon around Simmons. They use Simmons' power to victimize people. That's why these guys got to be where they be, That's why they got
PLP, all of them failing us. You hear the brother in America was just talking about politicians failing us? All of them fail us.
Yeah.
On both sides of this world. Labour, PAM, the only one I see come and try to make a pass with poor people things, and try to upgrade poor people. Poverty elimination. It's Timothy Harris. That's why I found up in them. I will never go against Timothy Harris in pretty flowers and more boxes building.
Yeah.
Get out of them. No, the corner in America was just making a point, and you always say, Quinn, we have to stand this thing around agriculture.
Yeah.
Because they know how to generate money than Timothy, you know. Timothy never used to go and just borrow big money from big banks or abroad, you know. He used development and bank money and give to poor people, and the money spinning with the economy, and everybody see growth and everybody happy. That is what he used to do. He better than them. And before I leave this life, Timothy got go back in power. That young man in Central Bastion, he got the potential to become a good minister. And we're working on him, and I will work with him.
Who is that?
When you're ready for Jam Down, I will be there.
Jam Down?
Because all this stuff and Splash Mac now, it is mine.
Jam Down?
And we're going to rally for you.
Jam Down?
You
Jam Down?
remember Avo? You remember Avo, the Californian?
Jam Down?
Avo, walk all over in the hotels them in the early years when she was young. She was a pretty woman, you know.
Jam Down?
Her son, poor people. Miss Lawrence, Avo Lawrence, who I know Avo Quinn? Her son, Damian Lawrence, he's a nice fellow, he talk nice, he reach out to people, and I know Timothy got the potential to pull to these young men because he may not be there all the time.
Jam Down?
I pray that we find a Blatcher. I pray we find a Robert Blatcher. This is an issue.
Jam Down?
Yes.
Jam Down, you know how much times I had to say Jam Downs? I'm sure I've said it 6 times. You have to, when you're speaking, listen. When you're speaking, I know you're passionate, but speak and listen so that we can have an interaction. The individual that you were speaking about in Central, what did you say the name is?
Damian Lawrence.
Okay.
Damian Lawrence.
Okay.
He's becoming the candidate for Central Bastion, for PLP.
Yes. Okay. Well, you see.
Brilliant guy. I want to get him come and talk with you one this morning, you know.
You see
but
how
we can't do that. Hello?
You see how good it is when you're listening and we can talk. I know you're passionate, you know, Jam Down. I know you.
Yeah,
but never let.
This country.
But never.
When I see crazy people.
But never let your passion override us having a conversation.
When I see crazy people in the Oval Office in Bastille, I don't get real mad. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Jam Down.
Yeah.
I want you to note this. You see the time that you've been speaking, not another line has lit up, and this is to strengthen my point.
Because people listen to me, then I talk truth and right, you know.
But so that means when other people are speaking, they don't listen?
No. The point I'm trying to make, that callers must limit the calls.
But the point I'm trying to make is that as long as
you so long because you're trying to engage me.
Because no one else is calling. That is my point.
Because they don't listen to me. When you see me get off here, they're going to meet me and tell me, boy, all when you tell Quinn today is true, you know.
But they listen to, it has to be then that they're listening to other people when they speak. Because
No. Quinn, one of these times I'm going to tape some of them.
I don't care. You don't listen. I don't care how much you tape. My point is, since Jam Down has been on for a considerable time, no one has called. And that is what happens when I'm here. When other people are speaking, no one calls, but then they're going to go and I don't give 2 hecks about what they say. You can tape 1 million. You think I'm 66 years old because I listen to what people say and let that weigh me down? The kind of life I've lived?
Quinn, the
yes.
point I'm trying to make is not you. It's because of them.
But it's not.
They must be. I only here with you so long because you're trying to engage me.
But I'm engaged.
Otherwise, I don't have the phone and come back again.
But I'm engaging you. Jam down. It seems as if this is the problem I have with so many individuals. People hear, but they don't hear. I am saying to you, the point I'm making is that since you've been speaking to me, I can engage you because no one else has called. And that is what happens when I'm here. So when you go out there and people say, jam down this and jam down, the people talking too long and this and that, it is nonsense. So anyway, finish what you have to say.
Yeah, all I want to say before I left, Quinn, is that we want to ask these young people to support these demonstrations. Support these demonstrations. Because these guys is not gonna get to away with what they're trying to achieve.
Yes.
Land is power. Land is life. Land you go anywhere and you demand anything in this life. Have a good morning, Quinn.
Same to you. Yeah, and so we're going to take a bit of a commercial break. But before I make that commercial break, let me reiterate. When I engage someone for a long period, it is because no one else is there to engage. Okay? So what am I going to do? I'm going to cut them off to wait for you to call and you don't call? I'm not going to do that. When they call and they engage on the phone, Cable and Wireless or whomever, Digicel make money. So I engage them. You understand? I'm not going to cut them off and sit down here waiting for you to call and you don't have the guts to call and say something, but you go behind and you say, that. Anyway, let me take that bit of a commercial break.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean. Keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Here are your Horseless Value Mart IGA Independent Specials for September 18th through October 1st. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag Specials. Barilla pastas, just $6.99. Langus juices, apple and cranberry, $11.99. Essential Everyday Shredded and Chunk Cheese, $7.99. Sunny Delight Smooth and Tangy, $5.99. IGA or Essential Everyday Waffles, $9.99. Honey Bunches of Oats, $19.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. IGA or Essential Everyday Salad Dressing, $9.99. OxyClean, just $32.99. Imperial Margarine, $8.99. Arm & Hammer Deodorant, $8.99. Duncan Hines Cake Mix, $6.99. Libby's Canned Vegetables, amazing, just $2.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
When you need better service, Rams is Church's Texas Chicken is on its way to St. Kitts and Nevis, and we're hiring. You can be part of our growing team as we open our very first store on the island. We're looking for motivated managers, friendly customer service reps, and hard-working kitchen champions. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Send us your resumes today at jobs@pizzaboys.com. Church's Texas Chicken. Flavor you love.
And I'm back with you, and I'm really loving this theme. And just in case you're wondering, I didn't pick this theme. It is in the library as theme for Island Tea, Love Theme. That's the name of the song. So it makes me feel good to see that the younger individuals who were here before kind of had an appreciation for good music. Yeah, good music, man. So I'm back with you, and as I stated before, and I'll reiterate, I always give the numbers. Let me go straight to the phone lines. Hello, caller.
Hi, good morning, Quinn.
Good day, Africa. And how are you today?
I'm giving thanks to life on another lovely sunny day in paradise.
Yeah.
And yourself?
I'm fine, thank you.
I like the fact that the last caller placed emphasis on the youth.
Yes.
And the relevance of land, which we as children, under the tutelage of our parents, it may not really dawn on us as the importance of preserving a piece of the rock, so to speak. But as you progress, as you niche your career path, and your whatever career path you might decide, an architect will really give, in the minds of an architect, and one who would really want to draw up a plan for futuristic projects. No doubt an architect will want to get a piece of the land. Other career path individuals also.
Yeah.
But for the fact that the last caller placed emphasis on the youth and their voices, which is so critically important to an issue of the land. We have had, Hortensia, good morning. I know you're not in the studio. And I say good morning to Hortensia because growing up as a youth, attending church, and it may not be a religious, it may not be under a religious body who would have wanted to have their own sanctity in terms of a municipality. It could be for recreation, it could be for tourism, but for the fact that growing up, and I heard about Jim Jones in Jonestown, Guyana, it make my blood qual, so to speak.
Yeah.
To see that you will have these sanctity areas. And why would one want to entertain an establishment on an island which had its own governance system and the exclusivity of security on that municipality area, as the bills say?
Well, Africa.
Special zone.
Well, Africa. If you listen to the Attorney General, he said that customs, our own customs of St. Kitts and Nevis, would control what goes in and out. That's what he said. So there's a bit of a conflict as to what the bill says and how is it interpreted and what the Attorney General says. But I just thought I'd put that in so that what the Attorney General said could be expressed.
for the fact, the speciality, the very first word in that bill, the speciality that would be given to whatever law, whatever
entity,
prescribed
yes,
act would be given to govern that area. That special, the speciality, even can be with down to security. I know that even in certain parts of the world where even some United States citizens don't even be tried in those jurisdictions outside of the U.S. Imagine you are on St. Kitts and Nevis and any foreseen incident would have occurred on. I'm just contemplating. And my imagination is just running wild. Because these things, they're not going to happen once the people are the vanguard, eh?
Well, you see, Africa, the thing about it is, and you're not the only one, because Mr. McMahon expressed that this morning, and a lot of individuals have expressed that, because people's concern is this. They do not trust the system, because the system says one thing and it means another thing. So this special at the heading of the title is a concern for people, because special is special, and special could be interpreted in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and that is where my imagination taking me. Because of the speciality, it will be a special arrangement within the security of that municipality, that the jurisdiction, though on the island of St. Kitts Nevis, just like how you will have like embassies on a special country, yet that embassy space is only resound to that respective country that the embassy and that country has agreed to put an embassy here.
Yeah.
Any litigation would go back into the 5th District of Florida, because Florida seems to be the closest state to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Maybe, or Texas. No doubt Florida. And it will be down to the 5th District in Florida for litigation to be had. What has occurred on St. Kitts. And we cannot imagine these things happening to us. Mm-hmm. Overlooking our jurisdiction, our jurisprudence, and going to Florida to get litigation to settle matters of sort.
Yeah, which again would be an added cost to the taxpayer.
Yes, you know, and then so these are some of the things that why our youth should pay close of attention, and why even our parents should reiterate to our children the importance of getting a piece of the rock and to pursue getting a piece of the rock. Because, you know, case in point, you know, we are thinking it's a Nevis, you know, and for whatever reason, like my friend, Sunshine on the beach, Llewellyn Keynes, he's on Phineas Beach. He's from St. Kitts, and he have chosen to go over to Nevis, and he have carved his own niche and there. Likewise, any other Kittitian who would want to go over, or any other Nevisian who would want to come down to St. Kitts and get married into, and call this island or Nevis's island their home, their place of abode. That's the opportunity we will have, that those lands that Mr. Matt Brantley and other investors might think that they are idle lands and they don't have any worth. They will have worth for newlywed couples who will want a piece of the rock to start their family. And these lands are to be guarded by the relevance that be. And any time that the relevance that be slip and fumble and keep and get sidetracked and get distracted from the importance of our piece of the rock, we, the citizens, are the ones that are going to keep their feet to the fire, so to speak.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that is where Mr. McMahon and others comes in, Jamdang and others comes in. Because, like it is said, even though the stars seem far in the sky, there are always fireflies on the earth to enlighten the path of humanity in the darkest time of the night or the morning. So we, the fireflies of these islands, have to always shed light on the darkness of our politicians' mind and soul and eyes. That these lands would not, after all, where we came from where we came from, some people in the U.S. was promised 40 acres and a mule. We wasn't promised anything. We only 68, 104 square miles combined, think it's a Nevis. So youth, you're young now. But you're going to become of age like Quint, 66, and myself, 65. And in your dwindling hours, in your dwindling time on the earth, you should be resting comfortable. You should be having some piece of the rock that call your own, that your children might manage to build a house and so you can enjoy a good night's rest. Thanks for listening, Quinn.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Take care. Have a great day. Let me go right back to the phone lines. Hello, caller.
Thank you. Good morning, Brother Quinn.
Yes, good day.
Good morning, Africa. Africa, I always want to touch base with you, you know. Let me just utter my number to Africa and anyone else. Area code 347-460-8192. Please call me, Africa. Let me move forward. As I will continue, and I'm on the bandwagon.
Hold a second. Hold a second.
Yes,
I have another. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Quinn?
Okay. Will you hold and let him make a statement? Greg?
Okay. Just a quick question, because maybe even other caller maybe could even answer it. Just a quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Because the other caller could answer it. When this match is supposed to be, when it's today supposed to be, right?
Yes.
What time is the plan to start? Where do they start, and where is the beginning or the starting of this match?
They said, Jam Down said it a few times, but I don't remember the time, but it's going to be at the West Bus Station sometime this afternoon. I would ask that Jam Down or whoever knows the time it should start would call back and enlighten us to that. But
and the West Bus Station will be the one down at the Bayfront, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Greg. Coming back to my utterance, and I will continue to reiterate. Land is power, and our land is our land. Our land are not to be given away.
Hold a second again. Sorry to cut you, but
yes.
When I see the phone, I don't want people to be saying that, like I always say, when I see the phone light up, I engage one or two. Hello, caller.
Good morning, Quint. How are you doing?
Okay. You want to let the other caller speak, or you want to make a point?
Well, I'll just make a point and listen, because I take the best opportunity to listen.
Okay. Go ahead.
Quick one. Quick observation. This morning you had a back and forth good conversation with Jam Down.
Yes.
And I must let you know that past experience is that sometimes when you call 46609, I think that is even FM number.
Yes.
And someone is on the line is actually busy because someone is on the line.
Yes.
Before you. It doesn't appear that you have a two-way system that if you call while someone is on the line, the other side will ring.
But this is why you notice that there's another caller on one line and you're on another line. You notice every time I come on, I tend to say, if you call one number and you don't get to, try another, even if it means you try. People have tried the overseas numbers and gotten through. Let me give the numbers again. If you call 4660989, it doesn't work, try 6620989. If it doesn't work, 7620989. If that doesn't work, try the UK line 033-344-0065. That doesn't work, try the US line 718-285-6984. that doesn't work, try the Canada line 305-921-4619. If one doesn't work, try the other. I always say that.
Point taken, and I agree with you, but most of the time, a higher percentage of the time, 4660989, that is the main one that normally works, and the other one that works will be the US line that works most of the time. So you will practically see the US line and the 4660989 line work most of the time. The others you try to get through and they just don't buzz.
Okay, so
and
that's
they to leave a message and so on and so on.
So that's something that is beyond my control. I
understand.
Yes.
That is why I'm highlighting for you, because you cannot speak to things that you really don't know. And I agree with you.
But I still refer. But
I will not stay too long. And I just want to make the other point is that what I have noticed is that when it comes to farmers and food planting and the whole Caribbean island, I think they enjoy harvesting the custom duties and taxes from the people, which is an easier way rather than to let the people produce, because if they produce, they will not be able to get any taxes, any customs duty from those very easily. They have to work hard to get that. And so therefore our people are under tremendous strain by buying foreign food, paying the taxes, government collect the taxes and those, and line up at the pharmacies to cure the ailment that the food that we eat, and so because we turn out to be a very sick people.
But don't you think? I agree. But don't you think that our leaders should be savvy enough, wise enough to know that yes, it is better for you to make sure that you are self-sufficient in food, and find some way when you have access to export rather than just depending on external forces. Yes, you get your tax, but when they decide, you see, when they have a war up there in those other parts of the world, the ships don't come, you don't get chicken, you don't get this, you don't. So our leaders, you don't think our leaders should be savvy enough to realize this?
I agree with you, but when you sit in the chair is a different thing to when you're outside of the chair.
Well,
so you have what you call the chicken and the egg system, whereas I think they look at, and what they can recognize is that they see to themselves, as far as they could see, is that they're enriching everybody, because if they let them self-produce, they're enriching them. But when they let it go like that, then only one person or two individuals, like wholesalers, will be able to bring in stuff to the countries and sell and make riches. And so when they're ready to do electoral campaign, they ask those for a donation that will contribute to the campaign system. So it's a whole network of a system that's set up in a mental way and a fag way that keep your people at bay. So that's my view. I mean, to me, it's
a right view. But then again, you see, again, here's another offset. Yes, these people, one or two, can give you big monies, but when you go and you say, vote for me, how much do these big corporations come up to in numbers to vote? So who gives you the ability to be able to get donations in the first place? So why is it that you need the masses when you want to get into office, but when you've gotten into office, you don't need the masses anymore? You acquiesce over to those few businesses that can give you a top-up when the next election comes. Don't you think that if you take care of your people, they will take care of you in turn?
That should happen, but what actually happened, it basically should be in theory, but in practical, it does not work the way. As far as they're concerned, as long as they get the vote, they get the beers and the drinks from the wholesalers to make the big money, and they spread them out to the people, and the people happy, and they say, oh, yes, man, we're going to vote for you. You're a good man, and you're giving us this, and you're giving us food and drinks and so on, no problem. And they get the vote. After election, we're back to the mainstream, back to the business, the windows turn up, and they're having a good time down the road again until the next election, coming up to the next election. And because as far as they're concerned, that our people only have what you call a 5-day memory span. We forget easily.
Yeah.
Remember what we get right now, but we forget we were having hardship
remember,
down the road, and things wasn't statistically planned for us.
Remember, there's another caller waiting, and that caller is one of those.
And because I prefer to listen to him. I hope it's not Mahan. I prefer to listen to him than
it's not Mahan. is
Okay,
Mr. Welcome.
and
But anyway,
responsibility,
he's one of those you're referring to because he wants to run for the next election, and he might be one of those who, as with all that he says, it's more likely from what we've seen so far that he will be one of those who will want us when he wants to get in, and when he gets in, he's going to lean towards the big corporation. So I'm going to let him defend himself on that. Okay, you take care. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Welcome.
Yes, Brother Quinn, thank you for that challenge. But I am the opposite, and I'm contrary to those comments. I was brought up as a humble servant, a man with compassion and empathy. And that is in my DNA. And no one can buy this, eradicate this, else I'll die to protect that. So let me make it clear. Listen, I don't love money. I spend money. And I'm not up for bribes. And whether a citizen vote for me or they vote for me not, every man will be treated equal. Shall. Let me use the word shall. Okay? Moving forward, our land is our power. Our land belongs to us. Our land belongs to the natives and the indigent. And under my watch, there are no way the lands are to be still given to foreign enterprise, no matter what.
Mr.
That is
Welcome,
my mandate.
Mr.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, hold a while, but I'm going to let you continue. I just want the caller to know. I just engaged another caller, but I want them caller.
I yield to that. Just
Yes.
allow the caller.
No. I'm going to let you finish your point because I can't just have you waiting, and your credit running up. So, caller.
I am humble and patient.
Caller,
Let the caller come in and give his brief.
Okay, caller. Mr. Welcome says you can express yourself. Go ahead.
Well, good morning again. Yeah, you wanted to get that information today. That march, that awareness march ambassador. The gathering starts at 2:30.
Okay.
At the West Bus
Terminal.
And ferry terminal.
Yes.
And the bus and ferry terminal. Yes. 2:30.
So,
the gathering starts at 2:30. The march kicks off at 3 p.m.
Okay. So, Greg and others, that's the information there. Thank you, Burl.
Yes, you're welcome.
And
I'll yield to the other caller, and I'll maybe come back in with one or two more points, please. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Mr. Welcome.
And I consider that information and that action that is about to be taking place, it shall be blessed. Moving forward peacefully and show your support for your rights and your dignity. Now, as I will continue, to all the farmers, I'm speaking you direct. I will support you. I will support the agricultural sector all the way because food sustainable, our independence in food is warranted before yesterday. And I will make sure that happens. Anything that is tied to our affairs locally, I support that. I will even give the farmers grants for those starters. I will secure lands for agriculture. I will and I shall improve the educational sector. But first of all, I'm making an offer to you people, any indigenous or national, will give you $3,000 to start up, just to thank you for being a national and a native, and I know where the money is. I will leave it right there. Money is there. The money ain't gone nowhere. It's in the pockets of these politicians, and as long as they're alive, we will shake out their pockets, and I will lead that mantra and that mandate. So the money disappear, the money is here. They ain't do that, not a damn thing to that money, but I know where it is in their bank account. Quinter will leave it there. And I mean what I'm said, and I meant what I said. These politicians, they have ill us, and they continue to ill us. And if they think they can fool us, no more, because their voices beyond their capacity. When you have men like Burl Jones, McMahon. I, Winston, welcome. Africa. Too numerous to mention. We shall get the job done. People, give us the job. Give the independent candidate the job. Give us a mandate, and we will listen to you. Because the government is the people, the government came from the people, and we shall be harmonized as one body moving forward. I will leave it there. Thank you for allowing me, Brother Chris. Bye for now.
Okay, you take care. We're going to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Is here at Harper's. Yes, Harper's, it's where it's at with the widest selection of school and art supplies for all schoolgoers, from the tiniest preschooler to the big cool college students. Plus, everyone can enjoy a 10% discount and a chance to spin the wheel and enter our grand draw in September. And the bonus is, our friendly team is looking forward to welcoming you again and again and again. For more information, call us at 466-6500.
Yeah, we got that.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
And I'm right back with you. The time is 9:46, and that means we're Fast approaching the end of another stint of Island Tea, and I'm on my lonesome as Hortensia is having a bit of a rest, a bit of a holiday, and she should be back in about a week's time or thereabout. Okay? Hello, caller.
Gwen.
Yes.
Gwen, good morning again. This is Job now. Gwen, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Gwen, from the time we reclaim those land at Port Zante, you know that the CBI generate billions of dollars where we could have built all those buildings down in Port Zante, but because the slackness and callousness and raving politicians allow people to come and get that opportunity. And here they talk now, I try to get on to the locals, and the locals now are buying the land. Well, you, the government, with these lots of money, more money on God, build the building them in the name of the country. That generation to generation could live off of these rents down there. But it hurt me, you know. It hurt me to see where politicians will come after Bradshaw and Simmons. Look where they done. Look where they know. God bless that young man to make it even better for the people that think it's a Nevis. To put out that never pay along with taxes and libels. That's why I can't go against them. I will never go against them. Because the man with a lot of money, he never look inside. He was looking to lollop himself with certain people. Look out for your people, man. You have to stop fail us like that. Otherwise, it will be a war. It will be a war. Even high up in the cemetery, in my pretty flowers and board box. I know it will be a war. I look out for people. Look out for people. Me hear people abusing the young man. And today, some of them wolf might have done rotten and drop in and them kill them. Come on, man. Look out for us, man. Look out for us. You know, you gotta give that fellow Barbara some props. Even though he made some bad mistake. I don't know who was in the end. I saw him massacring tonight who was from the dead and said, where are you doing? And now he couldn't get that work with William Hobart. A man look out for you and recognize you as the force. And you gonna demonize the man, but me come against you. Have a good morning, twin.
Okay, and thanks for your input. The time 9:50, which means it's just about 10 more minutes and we're out of here. Don't forget that at the end of Island Tea, coming up next will be Heritage Matters and so forth. So do stay tuned and be ready for when that program gets on the way. In the meantime, let me go back to the phone lines. Hello, caller.
Yes, Quinn?
Yes.
I want to be quick again. When you had on the Attorney General, okay?
Yes.
I think the best program that would have been suited for that would have been Voices when you're hosting it. And maybe the last half hour in Island Tea, take your break, then start Voices with him continuing. I think that would have been much better because people would have got more time to ask him questions.
Well,
I realized when you're asking the question about the monkeys,
yes,
he knocked that one
well,
he a ball coming to knock him out.
he's a diplomat, you know, so you know how
But
those.
he ducked that one, no?
So
He ain't even try to leg a stroke at it.
yeah,
He just
so
run from it.
so in hindsight, I agree with you, but this was a sort of a spur of the moment thing, and he decided what show he wanted to be on and that kind of stuff, you know. But yeah, and maybe in the future we can see that as a possibility. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yes, and one more thing. In the same interview with him, okay, he said something that I have said. I have said that I understand 'cause I've always heard it coming up, that the document that we, as a federation, sinfully and wrongly regard as our constitution and supreme law of the land, because the Bible is really that. But nevertheless, like I said, the document that we can sinfully and wrongly consider to be our constitution and supreme law of the land, he said that said, concerning eminent domain, it is for public use of land when government acquire lands via eminent domain.
Yeah.
He said that. And then that come back to what I have said. When Pam took away acquired the land on the eminent domain for Ross University, that was not public use. That went against the document that we wrongly and sinfully regard as our constitution and law of the land. So I just wanted to say that is what I have said, and I think he have basically said the same thing as well. Okay, Quinn, take care.
Okay. Yeah, and you know what they say about hindsight? They say hindsight is 20/20 vision. It is always easy for one in hindsight to say, you know, you could have done that. And you say, I hear you. But remember, life is a ongoing venture, and such an ongoing venture has different factions and facets to it. And we as individuals can only make plans as we see them and then adjust ourselves to accommodate the trend of the way things play out. So we'll see how things work out in the future as it regards that. Okay, so let me see if I can squeeze in this 3-minute clip. This clip is to do with something that the President of the United States has felt is something he needs to do, and it is something that a lot of African countries have a gripe with, and I myself. But then there are other countries who are accepting it. So give a listen to this.
Have you heard of this new trend of dumping convicted criminals in Africa? It has become a trend at this point because we talked about it when Trump decided to dump convicted criminals in South Sudan. Their own host countries did not want them to come back to their country, but South Sudan took them in, hence dumping them in South Sudan. And then we talked about Eswatini. The same thing happened. These people are not from that country. They're from different continents, actually. In fact, they're not even from Africa. And they dumped them. Same thing happened. US picks convicted criminals that they themselves deem as dangerous, and they dump them in an African country. Now we're hearing that US is having a deal with Rwanda and Uganda to do the exact same thing. The United States is dumping convicted criminals to Africa. To be specific, South Sudan. They're deporting convicted criminals to South Sudan, even though majority of these convicted criminals are not from South Sudan. Make it make sense. Other countries refuse to accept these criminals. The US decided, why not dump them in Africa? So they're sending them off, they're shipping them off actually to South Sudan. Come on now. This is expected from the United States of America, but our governments, what exactly are you doing accepting this? I know they're giving you a few changes here and there, which is peanuts probably when you look at it from a bigger scale. What exactly are you losing out on? What resources, and how exactly is this going to impact not just this generation, but the next generation? You are losing out. Why are you allowing this? I remember South Sudan came out and defended this.
Official statement on the arrival of third country nationals and South Sudanese deported from the United States of America to South Sudan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation wishes to provide the following statement regarding the recent arrival of third country nationals and one South Sudanese deported from the United States of America to South Sudan. On the 5th of July 2025, 8 individuals, including one South Sudanese, arrived at Juba International Airport following standard deportation procedures undertaken by the government of the United States of America.
You are taking in people that their own countries disowned. They don't want them in their country. The US don't want them in their country, but you are here accepting these convicted criminals. Make it make sense. They're not even from your country, so why are you allowing this to happen? It's just mind-boggling. Honestly, it is mind-boggling, and I do believe it will have significant consequences in the near future, and they're going to end up regretting it, because at the end of the day, you need to have some kind of dignity. Not everything should be done just because money is thrown your way.
And that's the voice of a young person, and a lot of the young people are asking those questions recently. I notice a lot of the young people who are making these podcasts, they're asking their governments, why are you doing these kind of things? So governments around the world, I think it is wise that you be aware that this younger generation is aware of the trends that you're taking, and they do not take kindly to it, and you should find some ways of stemming that kind of a trend. I hope that we don't hear here in the Caribbean region any one of our leaders doing the same and accommodating. Now, if it is our own natives, we have no choice. We have to accept them. But let us not hear that our leaders are accepting any criminals from any other country when that other country doesn't want them. That doesn't make any sense. Hello, caller?
You know what I always said? I always say that it is important that we and other people don't become conduit to carry information that is not true and say things that we are unaware of and that we don't know. Sometimes we know, but we cannot prove it. And so sometimes we should leave it. A high percentage of the people that are being deported from countries like the U.S., they might be deported from other islands in the Caribbean, they are not criminals. The only thing they do, they go to another country to find a better life, and they have not been involved in any criminal activities. The only thing they do is to break the immigration laws by overstaying their visit, but they have not committed any fiscal crime.
Caller,
and so to call them criminals, to me, it's not a good idea.
Caller, are you aware that all of those individuals that you're speaking about, can you definitively say that all of them are, as you stated, and none of them are criminals?
I am not saying that. I say a higher percentage, in my mind, are not active in criminal activities, or they have not committed any activity, have not committed any crime.
Okay, so then let me ask you this. If it is as you say, why doesn't their countries, some of their countries, want them then?
Well, they don't want it because they don't know. And if you don't know, you have what you call stimulate a type of fear in you, because
they don't know. They don't know what. They don't know what.
They don't know they have committed any crime. The country of which is sending them back to you is because they have broken the immigration law.
So I am asking you, if, let's be hypothetical. So if I am the country St. Kitts Nevis, and I don't know that my citizens have created any crime, why would I not want to accept them?
You should want to accept them, because whether they commit crime or they're your citizens.
Okay.
They're your people.
So when I don't want to accept them, it should be a reason why I don't want to accept them. Should another place accept them? Because I clearly said before that as long as they are our citizens, we have to accept them. Maybe perhaps you didn't hear that. But yes. What I'm saying, as long as they are not our citizens, whether they committed crime or not, we don't have to accept them.
I agree.
Okay. Okay.
We are on the same page.
Yes, but let's take it a little bit further, because we have some lies mixed with truth. Yes, what you say to some extent is true, but we know how the world works. They're going to take some who have done, just as you say, petty crimes or break immigration laws, but they mix them in with hardened criminals, and then they want to send them to your country. Are you aware of that?
I am aware of that, but that should not happen. And so, but to call the whole clump criminals, I don't subscribe to that.
I hear you, but hear what the girl
Don't
said.
have
You notice that the prisoners who were shipped to that particular place, only one of them belonged to that place?
I realize that.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay,
That is correct.
so then it is not wrong for you to say, why are you sending criminals? Because only one belongs to us, only one we need to take, and we can say whatever of the others. Anyway, I have to break because we have another program coming up, okay?
Have a good day, Queen.
Okay, then.
Found the sound 98.9.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace.